And then you should now got a pop-up that says there's a recording, and Mike, who is going to help you in terms of the actual paperwork, is on the call as well. So when I get done, he will have some information for you. So you should see the GGU School of Business Information Technology Management Program webinar presented in my name. Is that what you guys see?
Affirmative.
Oh, good. Hey, that's what I like. So so now that you said that, are you serving in the military down in Southern California?
So I am retired. I currently work for the Army as an IT tech.
Oh, okay, good. So I was with federal EPA once upon a time, a long time ago. So
Okay.
Never military, but I was GS9, technical.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
doing water projects. So, okay. So GGU School of Business, Information Technology. I'm the director of the program. If you see the picture here, you can see a different view of San Francisco. In this case, it's from the south. You can still see Salesforce Tower and the Bay. So I'm the director of the program. It's 30-unit program. You can earn a certificate along the way, but there's 10 classes, 3 units each. And they focus on broadening your skill basis. So if you've got some IT skills, this puts you in a position to have the broader view to be able to serve in a management role, which has to do with basically delivering the IT functionality to a business. So let me see if I can figure out why this won't change slides. Let me see, hang on. Okay, why won't this change slides? Hang on. There we go. Why GGU? We've been doing online classes for the last 10 years, maybe 20 years. In the world when people used to come to work in downtown San Francisco and get out at 4 o'clock and come over and take a class and then catch the bus home, there was also a cadre of people across the country who were doing this cyber only. They couldn't physically get to campus. So once a term they'd come to campus, and we serve both populations. We've been around for 117 years. That means before the San Francisco earthquake, basically we started out with people trying to retool as San Francisco was growing. Like every event that's catastrophic, what comes out of that is opportunities for a lot of new growth, and that's what came out of that opportunity. And San Francisco was growing up and becoming the commerce and financial center that it is. So we've been doing this for 117 years. We're nonprofit and accredited. Our units earned here can transfer to others because we're an accredited institution, and we're nonprofit. So we're not here to make a financial killing. We're here to provide service. Most of the faculty in this program, in this whole GGU program, is people who work for a living, either at Oracle or Accenture or VMware, and come here and teach at night or teach at off hours. And so you're getting people who are applying their technology. They're doing the work during the day and coming at night to teach, which means it's pretty current, about as current as you get. Some institutions are busily teaching what was important 5 years ago. That's not our case. We'll focus on people who are in the working world. This isn't my I need to get a degree because I need to impress my friends. This is I need to get skills so I can advance in my position at work or transfer to a different position at work. We got 68,000 alumni, and we've been around for a long time. It's in person and online and blended programs. We make an offering of the courses, and you can take, depending on your other requirements. If you live in Southern California, you're not going to be on campus. If you're an F1 student, you're going to be living someplace in the Bay Area and you are going to be on campus, because that's one of the huge benefits is you get a chance to meet the people around you and start to figure out how the job market works and what people are doing. If you're an F1 student, by the very nature of a visa, you cannot hold a job while you're going to school because the visa says you're here for an education. So one of you is in a situation where you already got a job and you want to advance, and the other one of you is going to be, even if you have a job today, for a window of time, you're not going to have a job, and as soon as you graduate, the effort will be to get a job. So you're in slightly different circumstances. And that's the nature of the entire university. We support both of those threads. Student resources, we have academic advising people to help you make sure you get the right courses for your interest. Math and English tutoring, if you're having issues with one of those languages, if you can't figure out how to write very well, or you can't solve some of the math problems, we have tutoring set up for that. Tech support to make sure the tools are available 7x24. They're available. Like every university, we have disability services. If you have some disability that is acknowledged by the federal government, and then we provide services to make sure that that disability doesn't become just what I just said, a disability. It just becomes something you work around, not something that stops you. And our job is to make sure that that's what happens. It's not something that stops you. It's something you figure out how to manage and make it irrelevant to your career path. Counseling to help courses and career counseling, and I will be part of that process. If you're in the ITM program, you're going to get me and my point of view. I end up with a discussion with each and every student in the program, not just in the course I teach, which is the lead course you take, but in all the rest of them. I'll be available. And mentorships. One of the things we do in my first course is get you introduced to some CIOs, so you have some people beyond the university where there's some connectivity. And the library and research service, we have we subscribe to O'Reilly books, which means you don't have to. So every one of the O'Reilly books, plus a bunch of others, 30,000 titles are in the O'Reilly online library, published by O'Reilly and other technical companies. So the goal is to make sure that the resources we're using for you aren't books you have to buy. They're ones you can get online and use. You'll buy a couple of textbooks, but the goal is to minimize that cost. And also, the last thing you want to do is have to pack around cases of books. You want that information and technology at your fingertips. And my recommendation is after you finish the program, you subscribe to the O'Reilly library and have access to it, and give up buying boxes of books, which unfortunately I'm old and I have done, and I still have books from my college days. I'm not exactly sure why, but I do. Hi, Anna, I see you have joined. Career advising and resources. We have career counseling, career spelled wrong, workshops and webinars, job interns services, and we have networking events this evening. Actually, no, not this evening, tomorrow evening. We are hosting the local San Francisco Python meetup on campus. We supported the Python program for their annual event last summer. Our goal is to support them again for this summer, but we are going to support their meetup tomorrow night. We're expecting 88, I checked 10 minutes ago, 88 people to show up who are either active Python programmers or hiring managers in Python shops. And the guest speaker is a gentleman who owns a company called Online BB. I think it's Open Source BB. I think it's Open BB. It's a Bloomberg terminal except encoded in Python, so there's no cost. And if you're a financial analyst, you have to have a Bloomberg terminal to do your job. It is the industry standard, and this is a software version of a very pricey hardware tool. So he's going to be speaking about that. I'm going to go and hear what he has to say. But there's an opportunity for people in the industry to intermingle with students at the university. And the goal is to as COVID's gone away, to reinstitute Golden Gate University as a place where that kind of activity occurs, bring the industry back on campus and make that available for students. That'll be a recorded session, and you can see a YouTube of it. Probably it'll get pushed out probably a week after the event. Experienced faculty, Robert Chow works at NASA Ames, has been teaching here for 30 years. Anthony Asai is a senior manager at Oracle Corporation. I just saw that Larry Ellison at Oracle is now, I don't know, the 10th richest person in the world. Apparently, Oracle stock is going up because of all the artificial intelligence. Banu Vishwanda works at VMware, teaches security. And Tammy Blake she's just changed jobs. She was at the Gap. I've known her for 20 years, and she's led the digital revolution in terms of moving everything to interface out to cell phones and at the edge, so that you can get services. And this was at the Gap and a few other companies before that, to make sure they're touching customers way earlier than just the cash register. Here's the program, same picture. It's a science and technology and management degree, which means if you're a foreign student, you have access to the STEM qualification, which means you can work in the United States for 3 years instead of just 1. Under this program, you don't need sponsorship for those 3. It'll happen through this program. We talk about software, infrastructure, network communications, and data management, the foundations of IT, plus it's transforming to containers and CI/CD and just-in-time DevOps releases, and the newer modern methods of developing and releasing software. Tammy covers it, I cover it. It is the world in IT in the last 5 years is pretty different. The velocity at which stuff is done is pretty fast. And people are moving into the cloud. So the days of I need a new server, it's going to take me 6 months to get it in and racked and in my data center and available to use, turns into I'll have it this afternoon right after lunch, because I can click on a configuration and the server will be available for me. So the velocity of this industry is way faster. That also means you have to think about cost controls, because cloud can get expensive fast. So you got to do some re-architecting to take advantage of cloud, and we'll have those conversations. Here's our alumni. A lot of them are from the telephone company, AT&T, US Air Force, and Wells Fargo, and then others you can see. I'm looking, Chevron, Bank of America, and other corporations, mostly centered in the Western United States. Learning outcomes graduates will be able to explain the role of IT and how they relate to the entire organization. That is to say, IT is a service to the business. That's the very premise of this whole program. You are here to serve. And because you understand this technology better than everybody else in your management team, you can bring to bear some significant changes in the way business is done. And you just see that in the marketplace today. I mean, the importance of Twitter or any other, Facebook, any of the social media platforms, or even just commerce, what Amazon is doing to the retail industry is, this is transformational. IT is transformational. And some of these changes are taking place over a few years. I mean, the iPhone was introduced in 2009. So what is that, about 15 years? And so the telephone as a data terminal and endpoint in the network is, maybe 15 years old. And all of a sudden I'm sitting here ordering lunch. I'm sitting on a bus heading home. I'm ordering dinner to be delivered at my front doorstep because nobody's home. Nobody wants to cook tonight. I don't want to cook. My wife doesn't want to cook. The kids don't want to cook. And I can have dinner on the table when I walk in, and I don't have to go to the store. I don't have to drive over to the restaurant. I can do it while I'm sitting on the bus, and it shows up at my doorstep. Pretty impressive. The world is not the same. And maybe if I need something broke, maybe I need you know, maybe, I mean, as simple as my microwave failed, so I can't fix dinner. I can go online on Amazon and order a brand new microwave delivered to my front doorstep. So next to the meal that's being delivered, I could have Amazon deliver a brand new microwave. I didn't, you know, that's uncomfortable to me, that big of an appliance, but I could. That's you know, and there are people that do just exactly that. And in my community, they'll deliver it either to a Dropbox location or to my front doorstep, because there's some places where there's no way for them to put it at your front doorstep. It's either behind a locked gate or it's not secure. And in my case, my front porch is secure just fine. Thank you very much. So we have emerging technologies. Things are changing. We're involved in with some schools, and while everybody's excited about students having online access to the internet, the next wave is we're going to have automatic locks on every door controlled as Internet of Things over the network on campuses. So we can lock down, not only can we see what's going on with security cameras, the step right after that is we're going to automatically control every lock on every door in the entire campus. Now would I have said that 2 months ago? No, I don't think I would have said that 2 months ago, but that's clearly what's coming. The Internet of Things is the next step. And now I can also do badging at the door. So every time somebody goes through the door, I'm going to know who it was, and I can track people's behavior on campus, either with face recognition, which is a little scary, or with electronics, or by being able to open and close doors from a central location. The world's getting pretty automated, pretty fast. And there's all those opportunities are out at the edge. There's of course huge opportunities in the data center, but because all of those require services. So here's what the curriculum looks like. It's 30 units. That is to say 10 courses. Plus you need this business. So you need business data analysts, data for managers. You got to figure out how to manage data and make sense of data, which is really what that's about. It's basically an exercise in how do you make sense of data. And then the core course is ITM 300 I teach, digital transformation. Helen teaches 304, databases and data stores and non-SQL databases and data in transformation, but data in general. Software engineering, Tammy teaches. How do you manage a PMO? How do you get software done? How do you schedule projects? Pardon me. Then networking, Robert Chow teaches that, which is not only copper networks and internet, but fiber networks and satellite networks and wireless networks. Security and privacy, Anthony teaches. And Anthony teaches, Banu teaches security, and Anthony teaches big data ecosystems. And then you get take a capstone course. Rowena teaches that, or you take an internship that we arrange and you actually work in industry. And then in addition to those required courses, you can take one of 4 sets of courses. And here's 2 on this slide. There'll be another set on the next slide. And it's business analytics focused. You pick 3 of those 4 courses. Leadership, if you want to focus more on leadership, you pick 3 of those 4 courses. Or program management, project management, you pick 3 of those courses. Or security, you pick those 2 courses, and one of them is already, and then you get the benefit of you end up with a security certificate. And the last course, 332, is pretty technical. The last security course is pretty technical. You actually get on with Kali Linux and do some practicing of defending networks. Graduate certificate program, in addition to the degree, you can earn a certificate in security, or you can earn a certificate in project management. If you take these courses, you get the certificate in addition to the diploma. On-campus employment, we try to take advantage of the fact that F1 students can't get employment off of campus, so we focus on, for the jobs that are on campus, to make sure there's an opportunity for the F1 students to get those positions so they can work up to 19 hours a week. Yes, sir, I heard a voice. Oh, not so. Okay. International Students CPT. This is the you can take one of your courses as a credit course for up to 3 units. In this program, you can take up to 3 units of work in lieu of education, and then the rest fall out in the OPT, which is after graduation. There's the OPT after graduation. So between the two, it's a way of starting your career here in if you're an F1 student, and if you're already employed, this is less important. The issue is, are the tools that you acquire going to give you the framework to be able to grow in your current position? And in some cases, depending on where you're employed, if you work for a city or a state, a master's degree unto itself will, and in the appropriate discipline, if you look at the pay structure of your agency, you might get $500 a month more pay merely by completing a master's degree. So for some people, it's perfectly clear that the payoff is immediate, and it just puts you into a different category. And in this industry, a master's degree is a pretty common thing. It's not too much education. It opens doors. And I have a master's degree education, not a doctorate, and it definitely opens doors. Applying to GGU, there's this process, and at the end of this, where Mike is going to give you a code which will waive the fee that goes with this, but you've got to provide a resume, statement of purpose. We're looking for a GPA above 3.0. I'm the one that does that review, and if there are students who have work experience, how do I say this? This is an opportunity for people to change their career paths. That's what this graduate program is about. And if you want to do that and you have work experience, even if you got less than a 3.0, but you have work experience included, then I will look at it. And the question, I mean, if you've been a software developer for the last 5 years, but you got a 2.8 grad GPA, you're a candidate for this program, because this is the chance to move career changes, and what's reflective of your ability is not what you did 5 years ago in undergraduate school. What matters is what you're doing career-wise. Proficiency requirement: you got to speak English, you got to be able to write, you got to be able to, and look at the website, it'll give you more details. Tuition, it's about $1,000 a unit. This is like so 30 units, so at $1,000 a unit. So this is about $30,000. And there's some sponsorships available with that. Financing your degree, here's the financial applications forms, www.fafa.ed.gov. There's a FAFSA form, which every financial institution will ask for and allow you to apply for their funding sources. It's the standard in the industry. Other people have military benefits, other people have private loans, other people have family money, other people have employer reimbursement. They're all available. Hang on a minute. So these dates are a year out of date. So for the fall term, registration starts right about now, July 11th. You'll notice the date's wrong. I can go check, but we're within a week. It's within a week of that time. So a month from now, registration will open for fall. I'm already processing applications for fall. So if you're interested in coming in the fall, now it's time to start. And orientation will be it's actually the first week of September. Term begins September, I think it's September 3rd this year. It's the day after Labor Day. So if Labor Day is the 2nd, it's let me see if I can tell you. Yes, the Labor Day is September 4th, so classes start September 5th. So the term actually starts the Sunday before. So the term actually starts September 3rd, which is the Sunday of that week. That's how they do things around here. Everything's by the Sunday of the week that matters. And there we go. And these are within a day or two. These are obviously a year out of date. And I think, oh, what's next? There'll be a code posted in the chat and sent to you, the waive the application fee. Michael will provide that to you. Here's the information. It's the Agino School of Business. Actually, Mr. Agino was a graduate of Golden Gate University. It helped him figure out how to start his business. He made Mr. Agino made sausages. He made salamis. Actually, what he made was salamis. And so Galileo Salami, which is a national brand now, is his company. And it started in the Bay Area because he got a business degree from Golden Gate. He could figure out how to run a business, and that's exactly what he did. And it went national. Q&A. So I'm going to get rid of this thing so I can see your faces. I'm going to say stop sharing. And what questions do you have? I see Anna's here both by her face and by her phone. And I see Philip's here, except his beard isn't as gray as mine, but other than that.
It's not as gray, but it's a little
leave the
bigger.
question in the chat.
Yeah, I started looking a little, I'm a little more clean cut, but that's recent, so. Okay. Any questions from any of you? Hi, Anna.
Yep. So I have two questions, I think. The first question is with regards to the electives. What is GGU's policy on multi-use of classes? Like, I'm in a leadership program right now.
Oh, good.
This is my last semester.
Yeah.
Would I be able to use any of those lead courses to satisfy the electives for this program?
I don't know the answer to that question. Mike, can we get somebody to get back to Philip and answer that question? The question is, my program is, I think the question is, if my program is 30 units and you've already taken 4 lead courses, 10 units worth of lead courses, can you then just take the 20 units of credit and graduate with this degree? I think that's what you're asking. It's a financial question as well as a credit question.
Yeah, and to qualify that just a little bit more, those classes will be part of my leadership degree that I will.
Right. You will earn credit in both programs. The question is, do we allow that? And I don't know what the answer is. Mike, can we get
for graduate programs, we are allowed to take up to 6 units or 2 classes of graduate classes from one US school to the other. The first step for you is to submit an online application to initialize the admissions process. Then afterwards, you'll be assigned with an enrollment counselor who will read through your submitted application and be working with you. When it comes to your leadership class being transferable to elective, it's a separate process from the admissions process. So I suggest after you are admitted to the program, you can discuss with your enrollment counselor, and he or she will be able to guide you forward into the petitioning transfer credit process later on.
My understanding, Philip, was that your leadership courses have been taken at Golden Gate University. Is that true?
That is true. I am a current GGU student.
Oh, okay. Then the situation is a little bit different then. You can submit an online applications first. If the enrollment counselor will be able to guide you forward.
Okay.
Enrollment counselor along with the evaluation team and Ross will be able to take a decision later on in the process.
Okay, so I have already applied. Actually, I applied a couple of months ago. I believe my application is still pending. I haven't looked at it this week to see, or I don't know if admissions.
Are you applying does your application identify you as a veteran?
As a what?
Veteran?
It should, yes.
Okay, so I think some of those are still pending. The veteran stuff got stuck in a side path. So it doesn't, if you think it's still pending, that's probably the truth. That's not inconsistent with anything else I've heard. So I don't know for sure, but that's not like an unusual thing for somebody to say.
Yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately, the many of the programs are very popular among veterans, especially for the
Mhm.
fall term. So have you got in touch with an enrollment counselor in the process yet?
I spoke with someone a while back,
Mhm.
and I think the process was a little different from when I signed up for business. I don't know if
So
it's because I was
yeah,
already
let me give
enrolled.
you an email address that you can send an inquiry to regarding
Okay.
veteran status.
Yeah.
And the concerned party will be able to refer to the correct person to respond back to you.
It's
Okay.
changing. The veteran situation is changing here in the United States, and we're sort of a little bit of the tail on the dog. So there's applications at ggu.edu. I just see posted. So
Okay.
yeah, okay. I don't have a good answer, sir. I don't have a definitive answer.
No problem.
I
I'll
don't
get
have an
to it.
objection to it, but I don't know what the university policy is, and it would be governed by policy because this is a global question, not a program specific question. So I just
Okay.
next time I will try to find the answer for my own purposes here in the short term. But,
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, my other question was regarding the how much of the program is hybrid in that so for example, because I don't live in San Francisco,
Right.
the
Yep.
program I'm in right now, I have to be on campus once or twice per semester to meet the VA requirements because I am using my GI Bill.
Of course. I think that continues to be true.
Okay.
I don't have any. So come the fall, I am scheduling cyber classes, which means everything is remote. You do not have to come to San Francisco. And I am scheduling hybrid classes, which means you have to be here. The F1 students have to be on campus half the time, every other class.
Okay.
What I don't know is how that requirement applies to the veteran. So
It will apply to if you are already having the leadership program, the same kind of regulations would apply when you switch
Okay.
to ITM program because
Okay.
it's also with the VA regulations that governs the current scheduling policy when it comes to using the GI benefits. So just like your current program, we always register students for the first term. Your academic advisor at that time will be able to be fully aware of your veteran status. And when he or she will be registering you for the first term, we'll be taking that veteran status into consideration in registering you with the classes. As far as the attending requirement goes, it would most likely be the same as with what you are doing currently.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, the world is, everything we say today is, the rules are changing under our feet. I apologize for being vague.
I get it. I'm on my fourth iteration of VA rules. It's changed each semester since I started.
Yeah, there you go. Good. Well, hopefully out of all this, you're getting the skills you need to be able to,
Absolutely.
make a huge pile of income and retire early.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Or I can become a teacher and pass on some of that knowledge.
You could do that. That's what I'm doing. Here I am. I've worked in this industry for 5 decades. So here I am at the end trying to help the next person along the line do well. So
Awesome.
And Philip, are you also applying to other schools as well as at the same time?
No, GGU is the only school that I have applied to for the next semester.
If you are looking, and this is sincere suggestion, and I think Ross will agree with me as well. You don't need to put all the eggs in one basket. This is especially true for veterans who will be using GI benefits. You feel free to look into other schools as well, because for us veterans, we are bounded by the impaction. If for some reason we are taking more veterans than we can get, we are not able to take in more veterans. So if you are looking to further your education, also in the same time using your GI benefits, look into other schools as well. So you don't need to put all the eggs in one basket. So you
Yeah.
can start school as soon as possible with the GI benefits.
Well,
Yeah, and
hopefully
I went through an extensive search before I settled on GGU because of the, and particularly why I asked about the hybrid nature of the classes, because I do work full time.
Yeah.
And so to be able to, do most of the coursework online and still meet the VA requirements was very important to me.
Yep, absolutely. Philip, what industry are you working in now? What are you doing for a living?
IT. I am an IT tech for the Department of Defense.
Oh, okay, good. See, so it's not like you haven't got an idea how this industry works. And
No, I know.
it's moving
Yeah.
pretty fast.
Ex-
So
um,
if you look online and you go to SF Python meetup, tomorrow night, we have the Python meetup on campus.
Okay.
The speaker is open source BB or open something BB. It's the Bloomberg terminal, except coded as Python instead of having to go buy one. So it's a pretty, it should be, we got 90 people showing up for the meeting tomorrow night. So we're
Okay, I'll definitely look into that.
take a look. And then you can, it's not going to be zoomed. It's going to be, we're recording and it's going to get, that you can,
Okay.
get it, in a week or so, it'll be posted and you can see
Okay.
so we'll see how that works. I mean, this is
All right.
anyone pulling it together here. So Anna, any questions you have from you? Either. Yeah.
Actually, yes. Probably very similar to Philip. I'm right now currently located in Maryland, but by September I should be moving to San Francisco. That's my second attempt to get into the GGU. In 2017, I tried to apply for
veteran benefit.
No, I'm not veteran benefit. Absolutely. I already applied for a FAFSA, and my job, since I'm working in Maryland and we're kind of taking contracts from government, so my company will reimburse me later, then I guess help me with tuition.
Well, but I mean, it's a good time anyway. So I hear what it sounds. I hear an accent.
I'm from Ukraine originally. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So my niece just got married. My grandniece, and her family's on the other side of the family's Ukrainian.
Seriously? Oh my God, that's amazing.
No. So I just, like, last weekend we were at her wedding for.
My congratulations.
Yeah. No, it's been great. And her grandfather on the Ukraine side was a minister of Ukrainian Orthodox Church here in the Bay Area. So.
Oh, really? Awesome.
So the service, and he wouldn't come because the service was in a Russian Orthodox cathedral, and he's definitely not Russian Orthodox. He's very definitely, he lived in Ukraine in the 30s, which means he was starved to death by the Russians.
Yes. I remember my grandfather told me about that. That's awful.
This is a family story for me as well. Now that we're so So I hope you find your way to San Francisco, and
thank you.
Work together. That would be great.
Yeah, that's true. My question is, I'm right now in the process of evaluating my diploma, and one of the counselors, they provide me companies where I can send my documents, because I finished university in Ukraine. It's a Kiev Polytechnic University. And I just wonder if, because I will be still working full time, and can I do classes online?
Yep.
Is that possible?
They'll be at night, or they'll be at night, and it won't conflict with your day job. And so yes. So you can't do them all online, probably. Well, yes, you can. Since you're basically a U.S. resident, you can do the whole program online. The issue is if you're a veteran and you're after use veterans benefits, you can't. If you're an F1 student, you can't, because it says you're here to study. There's a physical on-campus requirement for F1 students. But if you're just a U.S. resident, then you can do that in cyber.
Yeah. I have a citizenship, so.
Oh, even better. Well, good for you. I mean, that's not easy to come by.
That's not at all.
So, well, if you're in San Francisco, I hope that you join the campus community and take a look at this. SF Python is the meetup, and that's tomorrow night. And it's not going to be it's not going to be Zoomed, but they're going
Mhm.
to record it. But the notice is up there and you can see who the speakers are. We're trying to reinvigorate the on-campus activity.
Mhm.
COVID has made things a little bit miserable.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just left San Francisco 2 days ago, so I won't be able to be present, but hopefully in July, if
Okay.
anything similar will be
No,
coming up.
they're monthly. They're not only are they monthly,
Mhm.
their annual event, October 8th, we're trying to get on the Golden Gate campus. The Golden Gate sponsored it last year, but it was not on our campus.
Mhm,
All
mhm.
my graduate students participated in the actual program. So are you a Python programmer?
I'm Java,
Okay.
because we're, but I started from Python, and I
Yeah,
really would like to continue.
The author of Python, the Dutch guy, I'm drawing a blank on his name, was the presenter last at the summer event. So I mean, he works for Microsoft and he works in San Francisco now. So
Awesome.
We've got access to pretty high caliber people. This is not the University of California, Berkeley, or Stanford, or Columbia, but the goal is in the world that we live in the practical application of these tools, that we'll have access to those same kinds of capabilities, that you'll get to rub shoulders with people who are making news in the industry. This isn't just a trade school. It's a, in the Silicon Valley world, in the IT world,
Mhm.
Cisco and Silicon Valley are pretty near the top.
Awesome.
And when you go shopping at the grocery store, that's the person standing in line in front of you is, it was Guido van Norst that created Python. So that caliber of person is what I expect to run into. So that's my hope, is that when you walk out of here, you think of yourself as part of that bigger industry that's creating opportunities.
That's awesome. Thank you.
That's the idea. Somebody did that for me, and when I was a graduate student, my goal is to make sure we do it for the next generation. So
That's true. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Shruti?
Yes, I do have some questions. So
Sure.
I can see on the website that there are 2 different types of programs, cohort and non-cohort. So just wanted to check, since I'll be applying as a student visa, F1 student visa. So is F1 applicable for even non-cohort programs?
Yes, you would be in a non-cohort program, but like I said, last September, we had the 15 graduate students that were coming in from India all at the same time, basically ended up being close best friends, and they broke into probably 3 groups or 2 groups, but depending on where they lived, but there's a support group that happens, but it's not an academic cohort. It's not everybody takes exactly the same course. You customize it to your own needs, although there's lots of crossover. So
we are no longer offering cohort program as part of the program to start with, because it offers the non-cohort offers the flexibility, especially for F1 students, to manage their pace and also with the scheduling. It's the same kind of units. Basically, it's the same. It's just that it gives our F1 student the flexibility to choose classes. Like I mentioned, the first step for you is to submit an online application to initialize the admissions process, and the enrollment council will be able to work with you from then on.
Okay, got it. So I mean, I just saw in the presentation that you accept TOEFL or IELTS. So, but is Duolingo accepted also?
Yes. So our minimum requirement with Duolingo is 110. Once again, it's 110. It's the preferred option for most of our students because, relatively speaking, it's easier to schedule for Duolingo. You can take Duolingo in front of your computer. It takes about 1 hour and 15 minutes to complete, compared with TOEFL with the 3 hours.
That's right. Okay.
any other questions?
So, sorry, one last question. Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
please. Go ahead.
Sure, go ahead, and then I'll call on Melvin.
Okay. So now, since you've just mentioned that I can start my course anytime, so if I want to start the course Jan 2024, am I late to apply now?
Oh, no, the courses only start 3 times a year. So they're not cohorts in that everybody takes exactly the same course, but the courses only begin at particular times, and they're listed on the website down at the bottom, and I put them on the slide deck here. So then the fall term begins the September 4th or whatever day that is, September 3rd. So you don't have a choice of starting anytime like some other programs do. This is
Yeah, I think there's a confusion between a cohort and non-cohort. It still starts with the same term. The only difference with the cohort is students they get fixed classes instead of but we no longer offer the cohort classes. All of the new applicants entering are with the regular MS ITM program. The most upcoming term is the fall 2023 term. However, with international students from India, we do understand the visa wait time might be a little troublesome. In addition to us receiving an extremely large number of applicants for the fall term, my suggestion, if you want to give yourself more time and flexibility, especially with the visa process, the spring 2024 term is a better choice compared with the fall term right now.
It's, yeah, with the opening of visas, this program has become very popular, which I'm excited about after COVID. So Shruti, you know, apply for whatever you think, but it's there. The timeline is problematic, particularly getting a visa, getting an appointment in an embassy. And I know students have driven, you know, 5 hours or 10 hours to another city to visit a different embassy to see if they can short circuit that process. It's and people who thought they were able to make a certain start date weren't able to. So it's just come to understand that process and defend yourself from the bureaucracy we all live in here. So.
Okay, understood. Okay.
Okay, so, and we'll do what we can on our end, but we're out of control of that process. So Melvin, you had a question, sir?
Yes, sir. So sort of the every other program that I've applied to, they're kind of full with regards to like veterans. Do you know how it would be for this particular program?
Here's what I know is we have a lot of F1 students in this program, but I don't control those numbers. They're controlled in the admissions office. So I can't comment on that. You got to deal with Mick or the admissions office. Every time I stick my nose in that, I'm told it's not your business. I think there'll be opportunity, but it's not my to say. I am not in control of that process. So sure, give it a crack.
Copy.
You
and then
are
there any hybrid classes? I kind of missed the first portion of the.
Yes.
Okay.
The classes are either fully cyber or all the classes in the ITM program are hybrid. You're here 1 week, you're not here the next. And where are you living, Melvin?
I'm actually Lancaster, Palmdale area.
Oh, sure. Sure. No, I think so.
Near Edwards.
You're reminding me of a past life that I used to have once upon a time when I was a federal employee. Yep. So yes, you're going to
Sounds good.
And if you're using veterans benefits, you got to have a plan to be on campus some weeks. So, yeah, but
sounds good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Anna, again, I see your hand up.
Yeah, sorry, just I'm not sure if this question related to you, but in terms of the referrals from work, it says it should be 3 referrals. And is that just a letter from people with whom I work, from managers, or there's some specific form?
Mick, can you answer that question? Mike, I can't.
I'm sorry, Anna, could you tell me the question again?
Yeah, so the reference letter, it says on the website we should have 3 reference letter, and is that any specific form, or it's just
for the MS-ITM program we don't need the letter of recommendations.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to your foreign credentials, have you already applied to the program yet?
No, not yet. I'll be doing this in a couple hours after.
You
one
also
month.
mentioned that you have foreign credentials, correct?
I do. Yes, correct.
Are you familiar with a third-party evaluation service called WES or WES?
Yes, one of the counselors with whom I'm working right now from GGU, she sent me. Her name is Claudia. If I'm not
Yeah. Okay, yeah,
mistaken.
that is the preferred evaluation service that we use.
Okay.
We actually suggest you finish the WES process first before
Okay.
applying to GGU. The WES process, it depends on how fast they are able to receive your documents from overseas, but it's beneficial for you to finish that WES first, so that because once you finish the WES service, you can use it for the whole life, whether for GGU or for other schools. It stays with you for an extended period of time, and most schools in the US recognize that evaluation.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Looks like we are good with questions so far.
Okay, so Anna, just as a reference, my niece who is with you, her other side of the family is Ukrainian, is a senior developer at a place called Shopify.
Okay.
So she's in a technical career track as well, not Java, but
Awesome.
so okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions before we adjourn this session? Mike is your contact. He sent the discount code on the chat, so we're all good, and he will be in communication. And I'm the program director for the ITM, so basically, if you come here, you're going to end up with me looking over your shoulder the whole time you're here. So and making sure you get the results you're looking for. So, okay, thank you very much for your time.
For those of you who have attended today's webinar, you will receive a follow-up email within the next 48 hours with the application fee referral included. We understand from time to time, if you are using a Gmail account, it might fall into your spam box for some reason, for a very small chance. That is why Ross is giving you a big favor. So he's asking me to copy and paste the actual application fee referral code right now on the chat. In case, even if you miss the follow email 40 hours later with the code, you can already use the actual application fee referral code if you are ready to jumpstart your process with GGU.
Okay. Thank you all. We're adjourning the meeting.